Welcome everyone to exciting new top 10 as I put down my top 10 favorite Disney films from Disney Animation Studios. Remember, this is my list, and please don't forget to leave suggest your favorite films in the comment section below. Number 10. Okay, I liked this film. It was a really good adaptation of the book, and it was really well done. I present Peter Pan, one of Disney's greatest films. Tinkerbell is the mascot of Disney in a way, and I'm glad they used it so well with this movie. Tangerine not killing Hook, since we could like him a lot more. The actor was great. Peter Pan's story was amazing, and so much more. But I found it really offensive with the Native Americans. I imagine tons of Native Americans were probably offended by that. This film was so good. Once upon a time, you even tried to figure out who is Peter Pan. And he did a good job of Tinkerbell, Hook, and almost every character that belongs in Neverland. But this film goes there because of the ride, Peter Pan's Flight. Number 9. I thought I put this film in here, but yeah, I kinda had to. It's no other than Bolt, the movie that I think started the new renaissance. Bolt was excellent. It was a well written, well thought out story, and they did a good job. It started the renaissance because it was really good, but it was really interesting considering how he was weak to those little peanut things, and it was really funny. There was actual blood, and I really liked it. Rhino was hilarious. Benton's as funny as you can imagine, and it had pretty crazy Miley Cyrus in it. But as my list can go on, this film was really well made, and I hope they can make good films like this for the rest of the career, but this is not what I'm holding the standards for future Disney films. Granted, it was centered on animals, and mostly I like human type of films, but I kind of had to let this go because I do like another film that are animal generated. Number 8. Okay, so what film do I think deserves the number 8 spot? Well, I know people are not going to like me for putting this, but I have to put it on the list. I have to go with no other than Pinocchio, the wooden little puppet who just wants to be a real boy. With Jiminy Cricket and Geppetto and the Blue Fairy with tons and Monster, one of the best monstrous creatures as you can imagine. This film does a good job adapting the story. It was so well done. I even cried at the end. And when you wish upon a star song is like Disney's national anthem. Wherever you go to the Disneyland parks, there's always that song playing, and it just hits me right in my heart because it's a great film. But it's a really high standard, and some films I felt could beat it, and I honestly think it could be beat, and they did a good job. Okay, so now we're getting to number 7. And number 7, oh, I have to go with this. It's Beauty and the Beast. It was a good film. They did the best they could. And it was really good. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't as good as I expected. Most of the songs were not good, like You Be Human Again. But some of them were really good. The lack of song and the plot was too easy to go through. And it doesn't pay much to the original tale, which I kind of like. And Belle was a great princess. They do a good job with her. And Beast is really a little character. I like the changes he goes through the story. By relatable, I do not mean that people actually turn into Beast. That's why he's relatable. He actually has character development, which every story needs for the character to move on. Beast had one of the best character developments I've ever seen in any movie, and it really did show how he was changing. And all the other people there were great. But the reason why I put it so low, until I learned something, it's Belle has Stockholm Syndrome. And if you don't know what that is, Good thing this film isn't ruined for you. Number 6. Okay, no, this one you kind of had to see coming. Number 6 it was Tangled. I know you're like, Tangled? Number 6. Why? Why? I mean, why? I just didn't like it that much. Granted, I know you're like, it's the best Disney film since Beauty and the Beast. No, I don't think so. Not much good songs, and it was really boring. Granted, it was funny, great effects with the hair, and Maximus was good. But I just felt it was really boring. It didn't focus much on the original Rapunzel story, which I loved when I was reading it. They just took away from so much, which I'm so disappointed that they did. Granted, the Rapunzel's Towers and Disney World Resort, and there's meet and greets and stuff like that, but I don't like the character. I just think having a character with long hair doesn't work. Sorry, Merida. It just doesn't work. Because of the Disney parks, because apparently they still believe they place after the films. And it just doesn't work for me. Okay, so this film has tons of musicals out there. I'm glad they did it. It's nowhere than Aladdin. Okay, I know you mean what musical? At Disneyland Resort. It's really funny, and Genie does a good job as... Sorry, Robin Williams does a good job as Genie. Jafar is a great villain. They did so much they could with the Arabian Tales. And they just made it so spectacular. I felt this was a really good highlight in the Disney Renaissance, but some films in this Renaissance were surprisingly better. Surprisingly. The Disney Renaissance, if you don't know, is a time when Disney films were good. Now, this was part of the 3 that was good. Between Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and Lion King. Alright, but 2 down on this list, I hope that the 3rd one does show up. But it was so good with visual effects and music, like A Whole New World, and so much more. I like this film from start to finish. But it wasn't as good as some other films that Disney has made. So, let's move on. Okay, number 4, I had to go. A really hard one to choose from. But I had to go with it. I strongly believe that The Hunchback of Notre Dame is one of the good Disney films of its time. Granted, it's the most darkest Disney film ever to make, which makes it so great. It's too religious in hell, and it just makes it so well. And Judge Frodo is really funny, and Quasimodo is a good character who eventually has good character development. It was so good, I even wanted to see it again. Not in theaters, on TV. It was so good, I find the songs on YouTube, and I still listen to Hellfire. One of the best songs from it. Quasimodo's Heaven's Light and Someday are really good. But some of the best songs like God Help the Outcast and Hellfire were just amazing. Great visual effects, but it was too dark even for Disney. And I'm glad they kept Quasimodo alive. I know in the books he dies, and in the movies, so I'm glad they kept him alive. Made him more kid appropriate. Number 4 is a good film, but... number 3, sorry. It's a good film, but I don't think I should put it in my top 2. It's nowhere than WreckIt Ralph. I like WreckIt Ralph. It's a good film. I liked it better than Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast. It wasn't less boring because it was actually about video game characters. Video games that I've actually played with Sonic, Mario, Frogger, and so much more. And there was a Meet the Robertsons T-Rex in there. It was really good, and they did the best they could imagine these characters. And Penelope, Ralph, Fix-It Felix Jr., and that one person from Glee that were great characters. Penelope had the most saddest story ever and great visual effects. And I did not expect King Candy being Turbo. Oh, spoiler. I should have told you there's going to be spoilers. But it was really good, and Ralph is a good character, even though he's a bad guy. I felt this movie had so much energy. It would go into any hearts of any adult and kid. Okay, I know this film just came out a couple months ago, but I still love it to this day. It's no better than Frozen. Well, I know it just came out a couple days, so months, so I still love it to this day. It's Frozen. Well, anywho, it's so great. I've seen it in the theaters 4 times, and it's fantastic. I even got the CD for Christmas. I mean, it's a good film, and Elsa and Anna are one of the best Disney princesses imaginable. They're one of my favorites, and heads up, might be next week's top 10. But they are great characters, and I believe that they have potential. Elsa coming with Olaf was great. There was only one song I didn't like in the whole film. It was Never Love is an Open Door. It was stupid. Well, some people might have liked it, but I didn't like it at the end when I saw. Granted, it would have been better if Hans was actually a good guy, but I didn't expect him to be a villain. And Sven was funny, and Kristoff was so amazing, and one thing to say, the only way to fix this fixer-upper is fix him up with you. Sorry, that song's just stuck in my head. Let It Go is one of the best songs from it. First Time in Forever is really catchy. Do You Want to Build a Snowman is heart-breaking sad. Frozen Heart is just so amazing. And the First Time in Forever reprise shows the connection between these sisters. I just felt it was good. Okay, so now I'm actually going to my honorable mentions. Now, I could pull up my Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs idea, but no, I'm actually going to pull a movie I actually liked. It's no other than Wonderland, Alice in Wonderland. I love Wonderland. It's a place in madness. I love the books, and I still do to this day. It's filled with madness, and I like the Tim Burton version. It was a lot better than I expected. But the reason I didn't put it down is because I actually like some other films better than Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland was a good film, and it definitely deserves to be on this list, but I think more films were better. Number 1. Okay, so this film, as I mentioned before, was in the 3 parts: Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and so it's Lion King. Lion King is my all-time favorite Disney film, and there's nothing you can say that can change my mind. Simba and Nala were great characters, and Scar's a good villain. With his song, there were so much good songs, and it just felt so good. The only song that was okay was The Morning Report. Besides that, there were really good songs. I liked James Earl Jones' performance of Mufasa, and a great battle. It really showed what Disney could do with the right type of studying they could do on animals. And it was so breathtaking what they could do. I mean, come on. Simba. Simba was great. His music style was good. And I like the elephant graveyard scene. It's so good. And Prepared, there's a good song. Oh, there's one more thing that, what's Mufasa could have said in the clouds? Mufasa, Simba, I am your father. Well, that ends this list. Put down your top 10 Disney, if you want. If you disagreed, put down your top 10 Disney films in the comment section below. Next week, we're actually going to take a break on the top 10s, because I have a whole bunch of stories to share from my adventure at Disney World. Well, see you then.